All right, everybody, Thursday, June 27th, school's out. School's out for summer. Remember that Alice Cooper song? Anyway, I just say that because it's really, everything empties out here in New York City when school is out. It's kind of nice. All right. Hey, listen. I sent out a very interesting email to my subscribers today talking about the current market pause over the last couple of days. Now, if you're with me, if you're a subscriber, you know that way back in June, I said that on June 25th, we would have a market pause. I gave the exact date because I was able to see when bank reserves would hit a trough meaning a low point. Now, as I've been saying in these videos, these are totally predictable. We know when these peaks and troughs in reserves are going to happen, and without going into detail again for the umpteenth time, because we know when these peaks and troughs and bank reserves are going to happen, we know the effect on the markets. Banks have to adjust their asset mix, and with over 17 trillion in assets, even a slight mix has major impact on the markets. Now again, all of this volatility is related to the debt ceiling. As you know, the debt ceiling makes it impossible for the Treasury to sell new bonds. So it has created a shortage, the debt ceiling has, and that is what is behind the huge rally in bond prices and the fall in yields. It has nothing to do with a recession, but I've been over this so many times, I'm at risk of repeating myself ad nauseum, so I won't. The point I'm making is that this pause was predictable, and I did. I told my subscribers that this was going to happen. I advised even maybe buying some protection, some downside protection, because you lose a little market support when this happens. Banks are in that adjustment phase of their asset accumulation, asset creation, as in credit creation, whatever. Now, in the last two times that we had this pause, which is a weak monetary condition, let's call it a technically weak monetary condition, again related to the debt ceiling, because when the debt ceiling is not there, reserves can be managed and left stable. Now they're bouncing all over the place. But this is a weak monetary, technical monetary condition. Now, in the last two cycles of this reserve trough, let's call it, on both of those occasions, we had Trump tweet out negative stuff about trade war. All right. In the first one back in March, it was like, that's it. The Chinese, they're not complying with what I want. They're backing up on their promises. I'm hitting the whole 500 billion with tariffs, and we had that big sell-off in the market. I don't know, it was like 7-8% in the S&P or something like that. And then we recovered, and I said you have to buy into that dip. And then we had another one in May when Trump surprised everybody by saying, hey, we're putting tariffs on Mexico because they're not keeping people from crossing the border. And we had another 7% decline in the S&P, and I said, buy that dip, we're going to go to new highs. And sure enough, we went to new highs. Now, right now, it's very interesting because we are seeing what happens with this technically weak monetary condition when there is no crazy tweeting going on. Basically, the market just pauses. And I think that is a very strong sign, or a very obvious sign of the strength in the market. It's not falling, it's just pausing right now and kind of churning in place, right? No big gains, no big losses, other than, I guess, Monday we had a big drop, but then it's been kind of stable. And other markets too, if you look at the dollar, if you look at even bonds, have come down a little bit. The gold rally paused, everything paused. The oil rally paused. By the way, oil, next week we have the OPEC meeting. They're going to have to decide whether or not they extend the current production output agreement. If they do that, Oil's going higher. You saw what happened in the EIA, a massive drawdown of 12.8 million barrels. Very strong exports, low imports. I mean, you really have a cocktail there that is very bullish for oil. But if they don't extend that agreement next week, oil's going down. Very simple. So now what I was saying is we have a very kind of interesting real-time laboratory of observation. What happens when you hit these reserve troughs, and basically you see what happens. The market just pauses. Now if the market were weak, if the economy were really weak, this would not be a pause. We'd be going down. Now, looking forward, when is the next, because we look at reserve troughs, right? Those are low points in bank reserves. And then we also have to look at reserve peaks when they're at high points. At high points, those give you the buying signals. Why is that? Because at high points, the next part of the cycle is the reserves come down and then banks start adding new assets, and that pumps everything up, okay? When is that peak? I know when the peak is. I tell my people. They already know. It's coming. If you want to know when it is, you got to sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. But that peak is coming, and it's going to be incredibly bullish because there's another thing that is combining with that, which I won't say. If you want to know, you got to go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for 30. And again, nobody does this type of analysis. This is not some chart on a line, some line on a chart, or some, it feels bullish or it feels bearish. There's no feeling here. We're not, this is science, okay? This is science. We know what's going to happen. This is like when you push a domino in a line of dominoes, you know certain things are going to happen, like the dominoes are going to fall down. All right? This is physics. A force applied to an object makes it move. It's exactly this, what I'm talking about. It's not a chart, a line on a chart that says, oh, this is what happened the last 3 months, so I think because of this line, that's what's going to happen. No, that is... I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. I had a guy saying, I signed up for your report and I want to become a successful trader, but I decided I don't need the report because I signed up for a news service. Yeah, I actually had somebody tell me that. I signed up for a news service. So, Mike, I'm canceling. Good. Goodbye. Good riddance. Have fun with your news service. You want to be a successful trader, so you sign up for a news service. Whoa! Whoa! Why didn't I think of that? I've been doing this for 40 years. It's incredible. Some of you people out there, it's incredible, I gotta say. So we know what's going to happen. Now, eventually, I hope, I don't know, they're going to raise the debt ceiling. We're going to get back in this normal pattern of very stable bank reserves. And then what do you look at? Very simple. You look at the thing which drives everything, which is the fiscal support, all right, which has been enormous. But even that is coming up for potential changes at the end of September, beginning of October with the new fiscal year. You got to know what's going to happen. They have to come up with a new budget for 2020. Some want cuts, some want expanded expenditures. The Fed is going to end its roll-off. How is that going to affect everything? This is physics. This is science. When you know, it's not guessing anymore. Oh, it feels like it's going to... No, feels like... No news service. And of course, there's mental game. And I gave you the example. I stayed long gold. This is going on 3 years. I've been long gold. I had my gold position since August 2016. There were times when it went down. I had people send me emails, sign up. Oh, Mike, good luck on that gold, boy. Good luck on that gold. Ho, ho, ho. like they're saying, I know so much more than you. Good luck on that gold. I think I'm going to cancel your sermon. All those dips, all those pullbacks, and not just me. I have some people. Really, you know what? And I've said this before, just doing this and getting to know people through these as they become subscribers and friends. And I see who's going to make it and who doesn't. It really, I've said this so many times. I know it probably makes you sick when I say it again. It just all comes down to patience and self-control. You can have the news service. And I tell you what, me with a news service, I can make money. That guy's not. Because he doesn't understand what the game is all about. Now, we have superior information, we have superior understanding, all that stuff, all right? Which gives us an enormous advantage. But you still have to have the mental game. All right, everybody, that's the update for today. It feels like Friday, but it's Thursday. So, see everybody tomorrow. Bye.